What's happening, everybody? It's Wednesday, and what do you know? Here we are again, figuring it out. But I thought it was a good opportunity. We made a piece yesterday. That was fun. But I thought today maybe we'll make some. Well, we'll talk about tomatoes, and I'll show you how stupid easy it is to make tomato sauce for pizza. But I also wanted to give some love and gratitude to the New York Times. Fine people in the New York Times. They did a little in the food section today. Comforts of home. Could all use a little of that right now. They did a thing on tomatoes, the best tomatoes straight off the shelf, and they picked us as the best, which is humbling, and we're incredibly grateful for that. But the one thing I thought about when I saw that first is how hard our farmer Scott Parks works. My partner Rob DiNapoli, all the people that are inside that can. Well, not literally right now because it's just tomatoes, but bring it to that can. But it takes a village and then some, and we're grateful. But I thought it'd be an interesting moment to talk about things like the best and also blind tastings, which first thing I want to do is give great respect to Italy and all the Italian tomatoes, which I've used most of my life, and I still use a lot of various, just like with dry pasta from Italy, from our friends at Pasta Mancini, or there's some small Italian varietal tomatoes that I love. And the opportunity when we started this business it wasn't there wasn't other great things out there. It was we wanted to give a piece of our world where we were from. Where if this is wine, when we don't go to Loire Valley and think I only want to drink that, or if I'm in Willamette Bar, it's Pinot Noir. If you're in Chianti, well, enough said. If you're, it's we want to be a part of a community. So when people came to visit, it was we were able to offer something and an homage to the intention of it all. So, and the other thing about blind tastings, I think, is they start a process, and I think they can be fun. And they say, wow, this tastes the best, which usually means the favorite more than the best. The best is always subjective, but the favorite. And I think that starts a process of, I found in my 32 years in business, and we've been very blessed to have accolades, which I have none of them in here, and I'm grateful for everyone, but I need you to discover that. If you think it sucks, that's the reality. It's how we make you feel. So what I wanted to talk about today was, whatever that you love, love it and understand why you love it. And that's what I wanted to give, even whether it's tomatoes or a restaurant or anything that I do, I want to give you a reason that the deeper that you dig, the better opportunity is for you to have to see our intention and the humanity that it takes to bring that to the table. So for instance, I don't know, whatever, when I hear to talk about anybody bad ever, great tomatoes everywhere, but on our tomatoes, I know this, the commitment that Scott Parks, our farmer, makes, and our other farmers that help us, in Meridian, California, at Hollister, getting the right varietal so we can get the right size so we get in before the, sweltering heat in Central Valley, in late summer, or really what dry farming is. And Scott Parks, our farmer, I thought I know a little bit about tomatoes, and he's enlightened me over the last, 15 years of cutting water off, to really dry farm is the wettest farming of all, where they're coaxing the rooting systems to get down to the nutrition of that Mother Earth intended. So with all that being said, people ask where we can find them. The good news is there's still some out there. The bad news is all the small cans, which we didn't sell a ton of them. Whole Foods had some little friends around the country had them. Most of those are sold out around the country. We're starting to ship to the retailers, previously for commercial only. Good friends like John and Vinny and Mozza's and Fortina and many other chefs that support us in their restaurants, and we're blessed to be in their pantry. Now you can go big and go home instead of go big and go home. The fucking thing. So with that being said, I need a plate. Hold on. Don't go away. All right. So two things. And there's how much time we got, Greenie?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, so we're good. We're good. We can build a house in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do like in the old days, like when the salesman used to come, the tomato guy from whatever, they used to do these things back in the day when I started out called cuttings. And they say, how much you paying for those tomatoes, kid? And I'd be like, I don't know, more than I can afford. And they come and they cut it and they tell it was just like fresh. Well, it ain't fresh. It's canned, and be proud of it, because that is the way we're gonna survive the pantry we need more than ever right now. Our grandfather and grandmothers knew that, and we need to understand that right now, is preserving food. It is height of, of nutritional value and taste profile is our opportunity for all of us to survive and get food where it needs to be, and in a beautiful package. Thanks to my dad for doing the labor. God bless him. So back in the day, they say, we're gonna do a cutting. So what they do, they take the tomato and they would cut it open. And I'm gonna put my gloves on now. Just give me 8 seconds, really. I don't tell me that anymore. But they do a cutting to show you how nobody can even tell if it's fresh or not. And a lot of different chemicals, that they would use to keep it super stiff. Also, that would give a lot of volume to the can. So even though it'd be full, they'd be firm and it look packed, but you take them apart, they're hard as rocks and they're not, whatever. Different calcium chlorides and things, which it's cool people use. Whatever people use, whatever you're cool eating, it's cool eating. For me, I was trying to do nothing in it except for the tomatoes. I didn't want to put basil. But in our process with my partner Rob, we did a million tastings back in the day, and I started to understand why they added basil. Because basil's basically, everybody knows it grows tomatoes, it's really the stem that is the smell. Stem and the stem. And, a great little thing in Heston Blumenthal's book, where he studies everything. It's a great little thing. If you're growing tomatoes, save all the stems and the vines and cook those with your sauce, and it's a beautiful little thing there. But with the tomatoes themselves, that basil in there, even just 4 leaves per can that we put, it reminds us of at harvest and what those vines taste like, and the life force that gives them fruit. So here's our little tomatoes. Here, Greenie, come close. So we have, you'll notice here, like the viscosity of the pack, the thickness. I'm using big words now today. The viscosity back, the thickness of it, I didn't want it to be a watery where, like when I started, I'm not naming any brands, they all did their best. But sometimes when, the salesman would come in and say, you just pour the juice off, and I'm like, I don't want to pour any damn juice off. These ain't cheap. They're unbelievable value, but they ain't cheap, right? So I want to make sure the end user has every bit of use when they do that. So I'm going to show you in a second. I'll show you right now. We're going to dump these just like this, Greenie. Watch this. We're going to put them all in a bowl. You do this at home. Kids along. Bring the kids with this one. There's no danger. We're going to put them in a big bowl. They're really beautiful. If my grandmother was still here, and everybody's grandmother, they make you rinse that out and add it to the gravy on Sunday. You don't want to waste any of it. We'll do that later. But there we are, beautiful tomatoes. This variety is a shorter, squatter, like a box tomato. Still in the Roma family, but it's really about the earth that's grown it. More than the variety. Great seeds and bad dirt ain't worth shit. But it's all about, these are, an expression of earth and sky, and that's what these are. So what we'll do is, this is how we make the sauce every day. We still hand crush it. We don't use a food mill. We don't use a little joystick there. We don't use anything. I want my guys to be connected. I want to stay connected, with gloves on, of course. But we're gonna put about 3 little count of extra virgin olive oil. So this is my dad's label too. It's grown in Puglia. It's an extra virgin olive oil. We have some for sale, but this is not what it's about. Selling you nothing. We're not here to sell you anything. But this is the varietals of Pranzana, which comes only grown in Puglia. So it's something where my family on my father's side, the Bianco sides, are from, and so it's sentimental and delicious. And whatever sentimental is to you, that's what you should use. So this one, it's also packed with a little bit of Pacific sea salt. These being grown in the Pacific. on the Pacific side of the world. And then there's some basil from Gilroy. We only added, some years we can get away with no citric acid, but this one has a scant amount, just so we don't make anybody sick. But there's no other stabilizers, preservatives in there. So you see how thick they are. So I'm going to get in there. I'll do this as quick as I can. How much time we got, Greeny?
4 minutes.
4 minutes is good. 4 minutes is good. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm just squishing. I would probably squish this by hand for, I don't know, maybe like 7 minutes total, 6, 7 minutes. Where you're watching, 90 Day Fiance, whatever the hell you're watching now, Tiger King, all the kids are watching. And then watch, it has scant amount of, if you taste it now, it's undersalted. But remember, it's going to finish cooking in the oven. That will reduce it even in the 3-minute, 2-minute bake. It's going to reduce slightly. The cheeses you'll add to it, think about that. If you're using pecorino, a little salinity. If you're using a gorgonzola, more salinity. Parmigiano, mozzarella, maybe a little bit less. Adjust, like, fuck what I say, what do you say? And then we're going to add a little more basil. We're just going to bruise it. We talked about yesterday, activating oregano, dry, activating things. This way we're going to, release some of the essential oils. In a perfect world, we'd crush this, boom, boom, boom. I'd add a little pinch of, that's just some Maldon salt, because I always like to think of my friends in England. And at that point, and I just pretend it's crushed. And it'll be nice and beautiful. But I don't got 7 minutes, but you get the picture. And the thing, I'm gonna take my gloves off now. We got 3 minutes, Green? Is that what we got? Okay. So that's what we use. Maybe we'll make some pasta next time. I'll show you some different things, but that's the assembly just to make quick tomato sauce. It's gonna finish cooking on the pizza, and I think you'll dig it. And thank you to the New York Times for that little love. Thank you to the people that support us, and we love you guys. And we'll talk more about tomatoes, whatever. The other thing I want to talk about is not so fun. And sometimes I like to be funny and happy, but today I was looking at my dear friend who I love, David Chang. Love you, David, and your family. He posted a dear friend of all the chef community, Floyd Carlos, passed away. And to say I was shocked would be an understatement. He's someone that I saw probably maybe once a year, sometimes twice a year. He'd come out to visit with his family. I'd see him in New York, or he'd be at a charity event. And he had this it's weird to say he had this life force about him that was undeniable. And he passed away from COVID-19, from the coronavirus, which seemed like a fucking bad cartoon or a bad sci-fi movie when I saw that. And it really hits home. As much fun as I'm trying to relate, I don't want to get lost that we're losing people. And, what a fucking shitty time to die. Anyway, we're losing people, and we don't even have the proper time to really, send them to better places, with the collective of humanity that these people deserve. So, Floyd and your family, know that we love you and we're thinking of you, and we're all with you on that thing. And anyone that's lost loved one, have people struggling, there's a whole world of people that are, praying for you. And to the chef community, restaurant community, hospitality community, everywhere, just everyone. We'll all do what we can to get through this, and we'll make pasta and pizza and other things. And all right, man. Tomorrow we'll have some more fun. We'll do something cool. Peace.